So let me just get it live. Okay. Yes, we're live, Laura.
Hello, everybody. It's Laura Eisenhower. I am here with my dear sister, Jen McCarty. It's so incredible to be with you. It's been so long. We have so much to talk about. The Equinox Gateway, the Queen passing, and the solar flash event. So I just want to share a few words about Jen. I know so many of you know who she is, but I have some words to read about her. But first, I want to just thank you so much for being here with me today. With you, it's been so long. I know. So Jen McCarty, many people know her as the creator of the extremely beloved and popular Facebook group called The Event Is Happening. She created this group, and within the first month, 11,000 people had joined. By the third month, 33,000 people had joined, and each month the growth of the group was exponentially expanding. The reason she was able to do that was because she worked so many years on polishing up her spiritual vibration and becoming a guardian of her spiritual vibration. And we were just like right there, like kind of like doing the same kind of thing at the same time. It was so wild. Then we met. It was huge. And we're very close. We're like a week apart. I mean, it's just incredible. Anyway, she took responsibility for all the energy that came into her sacred space. With music and the mainstream media, social media, and she completely committed to the path of being a guardian of her own spiritual vibration. She learned about self-love and the remembrance that Mother, Father, God gave her the responsibility to be the guardian of her own inner child. When she realized that it was her responsibility to love her inner child, she was very easily able to place solid and firm boundaries in place, so that only people could enter the sacred space of her if they came with a vibration of devotion and love, right? It's like boundaries. Nothing else can really enter. And gosh, I so relate. So she's working on her spiritual vibration. It enabled her to become extremely magnetic to her tribe. And when she transitioned careers from being a fashion designer to becoming a spiritual activator, she went to a sacred site in Glastonbury, even in the United Kingdom. And it just came and found her. I mean, talk about like the home of the goddess. And she started sharing her sacred writings via just the blogs. And I mean, there's so much more to share, Jen.
I know, there's so much to share, isn't there, Laura?
I know. And I remember when I came up with one of my pages, and when we met for the first time, it was just sort of like, we got on a few calls together, and we've just been doing roundtables and interviews back and forth ever since. And I follow you every day, and I just love your posts and everything you've created, like the books and the cards. You're just an epic soul and sister. So what are your thoughts about this title, like the Queen passing and the symbology of it and the Equinox Gateway, and take us into all this?
Okay, well, I'm just going to write the name of this broadcast on my oh, it's not accepting it. Okay, never mind. I was going to just try to put a name so that people, when they're scrolling, they're actually going to know it's us. But we had a few technical issues, and we were going to go live on Laura's page, but we're now going to go live on my page. So most people are going to be going to your page, but it's okay because I've posted it on Facebook. So here we are.
Yeah, well, it's all going to go up on my channels too. So everybody, it's going to go everywhere.
It's going to go everywhere. So I'd just like to say I'm really, really, really deeply honored to be here with my beautiful soul sister, Laura. I feel such an exceptionally profound soul connection with you. And I feel our work is so complementary, and it's like we're so coming from the same place, but like just like somewhat of a different angle, and it just really enables that 360 perception. And for that, I am so grateful, and I'm so grateful to you, Laura, for the incredible work that you do for humanity and the incredible work you do every single day for the collective. And we love you so much, and you are so deeply appreciated, not only by me, but from everyone in my community. I know I speak on behalf of everyone in my community, because everyone was literally buzzing when they found out that me and you were going live. I got so many emails from everyone saying, please, Jen, I don't want to miss it. Please, can I have the exact details? Because I absolutely don't want to miss this show. And
on my side too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think people get a sense of our sisterhood somehow. And I feel like a bit of a twinny connection with you, because we were sort of born 5 days apart. We're both Librans. We were both born in London. We've both got the Mary Magdalene in our name. And it's like that, really like bringing that true divine feminine back.
We're carrying those codes and really just that blueprint, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yeah, we're like sisters in this, on this mission.
Yeah. And there's so many like bogeymen out there. Do you know what I mean? There's so much false light, and there's all that glitters is not gold. There's so many gold-plated people.
Oh my gosh, Led Zeppelin actually trumped Robert Plant was in my dream last night. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah. And it's like you are a real gold person, and I really feel that like, everything that you offer is just such high value, and it's such high quality. So I just can't wait for this conversation. It's going to be so enlightening for all of us. So I was just sharing with Laura about, obviously we're in the Equinox Gateway, and it feels like all the work that we've been doing as the ground crew has been really building up to this point that we're in now. It feels very much like we are in the time of revelations. And but not the sort of like really the doom and gloom aspect, the apocalyptic aspect, which simply means the removal of the veil. And I dreamt about New Earth a couple of nights ago, and it was so vivid. I was in Avalon, and I had this incredible dream of heaven on earth, and that the veil was pierced, and that all the, you know, the codes came in of heaven on earth. So it feels deeply connected to this Equinox Gateway. It feels deeply connected to the passing of the Queen, and well, the announcement of the passing of the Queen, really, that we should say, and how this is an evolutionary marker point. I think that's what we really need to talk about, how this time is really an evolutionary marker point, and what the gifts are in this, and how we can best work with the energies that are being presented to us. So I've got a lot to say, Laura, but is there anything you'd like to say to that?
Oh, I just love listening to you. I mean, you've received some incredible communications. I don't know how much you want to share about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. And so as I was just sharing with Laura, it was on the 9/9 Gateway, and I just finished the transmission, and I was really, really open spiritually, and I was just about to go to sleep, and all of a sudden I heard her voice came through me. And I'm not exactly the greatest fan of her or the royal family. So I was really, really surprised, because I've never had that experience before where I've sort of like been taken over by a channel. I literally have never had that experience. And I was a bit like, whoa, my boundaries, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? And she was like, no, Jen, I really need to speak to you. I really, really need to speak to you. And she was so adamant and so kind of forceful in a way, and she was like, I have to come through. And I was like, okay, because I was at a level I was totally able to accept the message. And she basically, so I had 3 messages from her, and they get a little bit muddled up, like which was what message, but I do remember off the first message what she said to me was that that she said that her passing, the announcement of her passing, marks the end of the Black Hat Guard. And she was talking a lot about, it was a white hat announcement. She was going, and I don't even talk about white hats. I don't even think about white hats. That's not even part of my consciousness anymore. But she was going on and on and on about white hats. And I was like, okay. And then she said that the entire purpose of the monarchy was to hold up the ascension timeline, because it truly is the inversion of our divinity to have one person like with 300 trillion acres of land and all. It's just a total inversion of God's original blueprint. You're muted, Laura.
Just the Dark Mother reversal and the Dark Queen inversion.
Yeah, she said that. And she said, and the reason why that was because at the time of, well, she actually explained this in the third message. So they're all going to be jumbled up. But essentially what she was saying was that the monarchy was like holding up the ascension timeline, because it was like a virus on the ascension timeline that was holding up our individual ascensions. And so she said, so as that's now been removed, everyone has much a greater sort of flow with their awakening. There isn't that kind of like a filter over their sovereignty. And she said that she was paying her penance for the crimes against humanity that she was complicit in, and that she was happy to pay her karmic penance for that. But she did say that it is very, very important that we understand that there were forces above her which forced her to play out that role that she played. And I got a feeling that she was talking about reptiles, I'm not going to lie. And like literal ones. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I had no choice. They were pulling my strings, and that was what happened, and I accept responsibility for that, and I have paid my karmic debts for that. She actually said that she passed between about 2.5 to 3 years ago in the channeled message. And she said that what else did she say? So that was the first message, really. I think that was pretty much it. In the second message, she came through and she was basically saying that the consciousness of humanity has now shifted, and that COVID would brought so much awakeness and awareness into the planetary consciousness that prior to COVID, we still had this sense where our earth was locked down into quarantine on an energetic level because of duality, because of the sort of like out of control duality, nature of duality. And so there was a seal around the earth, which was kind of like putting us in a bubble, like a separate bubble. She said, but that seal was kept in place by the consciousness of humanity, by asleep humanity. But because of what happened in COVID, so much light came into people's consciousnesses that has now neutralized the seal. And she said that the seal is no more. And she said that this is connected to the solar flash event. And it was that seal which was holding back the flash, the imminent flash. She said to me, the flash is coming now. You all need to know that. This is an evolutionary marker. The announcement of my passing is an evolutionary marker. And she said it means that there's going to be a shift, basically. And she was saying a lot about the solar flash. And she said that you need to tell your community to start preparing for the solar flash. And I said to her, what's the best way to prepare? And she said to have a very grounded breathwork practice. So to start having doing breathing now, working with breathing and breathwork. She said also very, very important to surround yourself with grounding crystals, grounding plants, anything that will keep you grounded. This is really, really essential right now and is going to help us harness the energies, because it's very easy to just go when these energies come in, but actually we need to harness them now. We need to ground them. This is where the magic happens. She said that her passing marks the end of fiat currency, and we are now going to be moving back to gold and silver. And she said that now is the time to invest in gold and silver.
Which is what I'm doing. And you, and then so many, wow.
That was basically
feeling all of this too.
Are you feeling it too, Laura?
Yes. Everything that you just shared is everything that I've been feeling. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, and she said it's really, really important now that the awake community has compassion and forgiveness towards her. She said, because the more we have anger and resentment, it's putting that energy into the field. And because we're so close. Yeah, we're so close to the solar flash event. She said that it's really important for the light workers to practice Ho'oponopono with her.
Yeah. I'm also seeing the garden that's the seeds that have been planted of the future generations from Lady Diana and her offspring, and just there's a lot of beautiful things that are emerging that have something that seems to be purifying all of it. I've been feeling
deeply. She said there. Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. She said that the grief that has been triggered can only be compared to what happened when Diana passed. And she said that everyone in the awake community is kind of like laughing at all those people that are in grief. She said, but they are coming from the heart and they are sending out like love codes into the grid. And that is what is also dissolving the seal. She said, so it's a great thing that they're doing that.
So this solar flash event, can you talk to us about what people should expect or experience?
So I had an experience of the solar flash somewhat in 2017, and I was just
I had dreams about this actually when I was a kid.
Oh,
and
did you?
Prepared my whole life, yes. But
I didn't know about it. I didn't know anything about it. It was all news to me, and I'm the kind of person that I have to have a direct experience of something for me to understand it. And so I might have heard about it, but it literally never ever registered in my consciousness. And so it's 2017 around the September time, and I was just walking around near my house in nature, and all of a sudden my guides came in and they shouted really loudly, "There's going to be an event. It's going to be soon, Jen, and you need to tell your community there's going to be all this light is coming into the planet." And they showed me that it's going to be magenta, this pink light, and I was shown that the light is a consciousness. It speaks to you. It's essentially God basically is coming. And they said to me that everyone is going to feel it. Everyone is going to be exposed, no matter if you're 3D, 4D, 5D. She said everyone is going to experience. She said even like bankers, teachers, the works. She said this event is coming, and you need to know about this. And I was like, okay, because I'd never had that experience of my guide shouting at me. I was always very quiet and silent and just like trying to pick up the messages, but they literally screamed at the top of their lungs. So I got home that day, and I did a little YouTube video, and I was like talking about twin flames. And then I was like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, I've just had this visitation from my team, and they said that it was going to be this event. And then the moment I said the word event, this light came in and it started all flickering and dancing, and my whole face was covered. And I was like, oh my God, this is confirmation. This is total confirmation. There's an event coming. Anyway, I got off the phone and I didn't really think about it. And a couple of months later, my friend contacted me and she said, oh no, she put on Facebook, has anyone heard of the event? I'd never heard of the event. And I was like, I've heard of the event. I've never heard anyone else say it. I was like, oh, I've heard of the event. And then she sent me this information. I ended up going down this rabbit hole, and I found out this woman whose son had passed, and he was bringing her telepathic messages all about the event. And he was telling her about all the preparations and what was going on in the high dimensional realms, and that we're all going to meet and we're all going to be together. Spirits are all going to be together, and death is going to be no more, and all this work is taking place by a lot of spirits that are passing at the moment, are doing a lot of work to create new earth for us. And I was like, oh my God, there's this whole kind of like community of people that know about the event. And then I thought to myself, I have to create some sort of like place where we can talk about the event. And then one day I was just sitting at Facebook, it happened to be on International Women's Day, and I was just like, oh, I've got to create a Facebook group. Oh, what should I call it? And I was like, oh, just call it the event is happening. Call it the event is happening. And then boom, it just went completely and utterly viral, really. And it was like all these people were waking up. So loads of people found the group. Yeah,
that's when I created Return of the Divine Feminine page, and that blew up to like,
oh wow, did you create that? That's amazing.
That was my page, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, Laura. That went off as well. And it was just like, so basically people were having dreams about the event, and then they'd wake up in the morning and they didn't know anything about the event. So they put into Facebook the event, and then my group would come up. So it was like all these people were having this massive awakening about the event. And so that's what happened. The group was formed. And then obviously we went through COVID. We went through the Great Awakening of humanity. We're now at this evolutionary marker. I've been told quite a lot about the event. I've been told that it comes in as a color energy. And when the color comes in, the color has a consciousness that speaks to us, and it will tell us to lie down. It will help us to, it's like almost like like a death experience in a way where your higher self is speaking to you. So that's what I've been shown, that you will be guided, and it will be like an atonement, you know, like when your spirit goes back home to God, and that you have to face yourself, and you have to like mirror time. So I believe. Oh, really? What was your dream, Laura?
Well, it was people that were experiencing it thought it was like a bomb or like an atomic bomb, and they were scared at first, but it was just this unbelievable God force light that came down. And I just remember, I mean, I don't know how old I was when I had the dream, but it was like, no, there's nothing to be afraid of. And it wasn't like a bomb. It wasn't anything destructive. It was this solar flash event that, and
wow,
it just rippled out to the whole through the planetary grid network and the whole earth, and just ignited sort of the crystalline dragon, just restoration of this whole planetary system, and the removal of the nets and the fences and all the reversal grids just gone.
My Lord.
And some humans like couldn't take it because it's too much for their physical body, but other people just, like you said, would lay back and just let those codes come in and integrate it, and then all of a sudden like stand up and realize that they're becoming an advanced human, and they're actually ascending and moving into higher earth energies. And so I remember that, and it never left me.
Really? How old
it was
were you?
A very lucid dream. What?
How old were you?
Probably between the ages of 9 and 12.
Really? Wow. So you were young.
Yeah, well, I've been prepared since I was a kid for so much of all of this, and so have you. Oh my God. I mean, this is why it's so cool that we came in. Like, we're just so, we just come in from different angles, and we're bridging things too. So it's like incredible. Yeah,
definitely. And it's the return of the divine feminine. It's time for the divine feminine to take the center stage, really.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, this is the ascension, organic ascension timeline. Everything else is falling away. It's just, this is the bifurcation, and that old world is leaving. It's like detoxing itself out. It's like, and all our loved ones and friends and family are coming with us. Doesn't matter how much they bought into it, how much they were deceived, what they put in their bodies, they're coming with us. But the nasty is, it's just falling away. It's falling away. So we don't have to fear that our friends and family that might not have awoken aren't going to be there. Because I think it's the most tragic and heartbreaking part is, what about our friends and family that might have done this or didn't wake up? No, they'll be with us, because the heart and spirit is way more powerful than anything. And we hold them close to us, and they're going to come with us.
I totally agree. And it's like, and that was such a big part of the message that I got from Elizabeth. Like, she said, don't be laughing at all those people that are grieving. Like, it's love, and it's love, which is the force of divinity, not intellectual sophistication. That's not going to take us to New Earth. It's just pure love, service to others, and so it doesn't matter like what level of consciousness you're at. If you are that, you're good. You're really, really good. It's those that are orientated towards service to self that are going to have the karmic repercussions.
Right.
Which they have orchestrated from their own higher self in order to wake them up.
Right. Exactly.
Everything returns to love.
Totally. And then they have to reach that breaking point to not be in the divide and conquer, and the just toxic effects of all the social engineering that has like made it such a battle, and they're still in the duality. It's like, they're being assimilated into it because that's what the narratives and the false propaganda is wanting them to do. And there's going to be a point in which they just like crack, and they're like, what the hell am I thinking? And they're going to come with us. And those that don't, it's just like, okay, try again. Space does boop, complete rebirth.
Yeah, you nailed it. Exactly. So yes.
So queen passing,
can I ask you, Laura, what
Equinox Gateway? Talk to us about the Equinox.
Okay, the Equinox Gateway. So I was told by Elizabeth that this is really, really deeply connected to the energies, this particular gateway that we are in, her passing, her funeral. It's all very, very divinely orchestrated because of the numerology and the astrology. She was going on a lot about the astrology, but I don't really understand astrology, so it was somewhat going over my head. But she was saying about, if you look at the stars right now, you will see that we are in the time of the great shift. And maybe you can speak into that a little bit, because I know that we have 7 planets. Yeah, because I didn't understand the astrology. Would you share with us a bit about what's going on?
You don't need to necessarily, because you're already so embodied. You don't need to understand the astrology.
What is going on?
Keep going. And okay.
Well,
out of 2019, the major conjunctions of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto really ignited the kind of dark night of the soul of humanity to go into this transformational process that they kind of weaponize, because they understand the occult, they understand these planetary alignments. So they wanted to invert it by causing us fear of death, by closing up our capacity to speak, by masking us and creating all the censorship, when really it was a time of speaking truth and doing the opposite, being able to face death head on and go through the transformational process of what a caterpillar goes through when it, just the death, rebirth, alchemy, transformational process that the death initiation takes us into. But they wanted to invert it into the fear of death, disease, COVID or pandemic stuff, to the point, separation, masking, 6 feet apart, and, be locked in your home, when that was the inverted expression of the planetary energies, of the lower octaves of the planetary systems. The higher octaves that we can embrace, which is the ascension timeline, is gaining self-mastery, stepping into sovereignty, and going through the initiation of the plutonic energies of birthing the new earth, with Pluto and Capricorn tearing down the old structures. And as Pluto moves into Aquarius, the resurrection of the elemental kingdoms on the organic ascension timeline, which means no mask, speak truth, the breath of life, the quintessence, the Holy Mother, Goddess, Mother Ark that is anchored in the planet, that is breathing through all of us, that is purifying through the mitochondrial DNA of the ether, the earth, air, fire, water elements in the nucleic acids of our DNA, to upgrade us in the higher gammic union and higher harmonic universes, to be the ascended divine human. And you nail it with your books and everything you talk about with the twin flame thing, because that's actually exactly what's taking place right now. So yeah, and so they can have the sort of weaponized or inverted version of it that they throw out through the media, through entertainment industries, through false movements and things that they use social media to profile, to sort of capture the good intent of people, wanting to fight for the environment, climate change and this and that, or, and so the leftist thing is really even brought in a lot of the hippie movement that are thinking oh, no, this is all a good idea. Let's vote liberal and Biden. Yeah. It's they completely don't realize that this is a part of the Nazi agenda that is carrying a facade in order to target good intentioned people, to drag them down a timeline they don't need to go down, but they're going to be okay. But the whole deal is that we're going through this initiation and transformational process. That's why I call myself a global alchemist, because this is, what we're doing. And as we enter 𝗑𝗪𝗏 season, which is ruled by the ether, and it's all about the mother energy and the purification of all. As we go into Libra, 𝗑𝗪𝗏, Scorpio, and then Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio, 𝗑𝗪𝗏 into Sagittarius. This will be the most alchemical, transformative period into December, that by the time 2023 in spring hits, we are going to recognize that we have resurrected the elemental kingdoms, and we're going to have Avalon and Lemuria and Atlantis without the dark-seated aspects of dark lords that infiltrated. We're going to resurrect this again, and we're going to come home. And the inversions are just laughable. It's just the mind, once the mind is free of it, you're in for a ride, folks. Just release yourself, cut the cords. It's all bullshit. Yeah, it's all up except for love. Right? And just love everybody around you. The love frequency is that ether energy, the unconditional love of the mother. And that will collapse and nullify and neutralize and dismantle all dark weaponry within your body, within your system. Your spiritualized body will remove all that toxicity, all that dark weaponry, and it'll just be gone. And so don't worry about what you put in your body, you know? That's why I love Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like, how are they eating like flashlights and doing all this crazy stuff? Because mind over matter, spirit holds dominion over physical matter. And when humans remember that, there's no weapon, there's nothing that we've ingested that we cannot transmute into gold, because we are alchemists and we're transforming this fuckery, like shitstorm, fucking enslavement bullshit into something so incredible. This is how crystals form, and the diamond heart of the mother is beating so strong. And we're going home, and we're doing this, and we did this, and we've been a team, Jen. We came in and we've been working together. We're mission, and with all our family that we're extending out to the whole of humanity. Every single one of you, you're with us. We're all leaders in this. Everybody has this divine purpose to embrace this. Your human vessel is the greatest gift. You know, when you tend to it and realize this gift that you've been given and you activate it, you know, we're gonna have some good times ahead of us.
That was so powerful, Laura, and especially what you said about Avalon, about the return of the. When is Pluto going to go into Aquarius then?
Really soon, 2023. Probably. I mean, I don't have the exact date, but it's right there. I would say just 2023, sometime around July, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, we're heading there. So we're already feeling it. The weaponized version, though, is like transhumanism, techno, you know, that's the bifurcation that we're not on that timeline. We're not on that timeline. We can witness it and see people that are still attached to it, but that's falling away. That's phantom earth. That has nothing to do with us. We've detoxed it out of our system. We are the organic ascension timeline. We have been the sacred guardian flame holders of this, and you've done it so brilliantly, Jen. It's been amazing to watch you.
Oh, thank you, darling. And because I was in Avalon this weekend, and the land.
I can't wait to come home and be with you there.
Oh my God, the land. I don't know what's going on in the land, but it's gone through the most extraordinary upgrade, and the pristine codes that are in that land just absolutely blew me away. And I channeled this song 2 weeks before I went to Avalon, all about the fairies in Glastonbury Tor, and all about the elementals, and about stone circles and hawthorn. And I ended up going on a herbal retreat in a stone circle, filled with a stone circle. We were making hawthorn medicine. We were at the foot of Glastonbury Tor, and it was like the complete prophecy of my dream, of my song. And then I met my friend, and she just connected with her twin flame, and it was like this song it talks about twin flame, the final pair coming into recognition. And I was like, holy shit, man, you are who I've just been singing about. Because it's been such a journey for her coming into her awakening, because there's such a veil around her twin, you know. And I think we need to talk about this as well, like especially what's going on with the masculine. Like, you know, the divine feminine is so awakened. She's so deeply awakened to remembrance and her mission, you know, to be a devotee of love, to be a servant of divine love. Whereas for many masculines, what I've observed is that it's been a lot harder to sort of like calibrate to this realm, quite frankly, because of the masculine trauma that they've had to process, which actually I believe has been harder than it has for the feminines. And the reason why I say that,
I agree.
We've been allowed to cry. We've been allowed to receive support. We've been allowed to be vulnerable. We've been allowed to break down and be held. Men, it's like we don't have the war codes. We haven't had to go to war.
Exactly. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah,
I have so much compassion for what the men are going through right now. Oh my God. Absolutely. You know, and everything that you're doing over there, I feel is in tandem to what I'm experiencing here, because, you know, the planetary grid network and the stargates are all connected. So, you know, as you were talking, and like, as I always kind of track and follow what you're doing, you know, I come and find like Bridget at a festival. And
I love that.
I know. And my son, you know, just won all these tournaments at a Celtic festival. And
oh, wow.
You know, and just watching your son grow up, and, you know, it's just like, this is like soul, family, and tribe, even though I'm in the States. We're actually going to try and get land in England, around the Ireland, Scotland. We're going to plant ourselves very close and nearby. So you and I are going to actually be more in proximity to each other, so that I can actually give you a hug in person and like live the rest of this existence and be sisters in close proximity again, like we were before.
Oh, Laura, that's so powerful. And you know, Bridget is the guardian of this land of Great Britain, and
no, I know everything about Bridget.
You know that's where Britain, the word Britain, derives from. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that, because that is decoding central. Tell us about that.
Well,
what you know.
Like a big transition from the 𝗏𝗚 and 𝗏𝘶𝗏𝗏, when that transition came over, and how that changed England. And then when we were talking about the monarchy and the Queen and Bridget and Saint Bridget, and how that connects to the Magdalene, we could go on forever about that. But because we both know, we hold that within us. We were there, and we hold that in our souls. So where do we go from here, Jen?
Well, I was thinking a lot about Scotland. A lot is coming in about Scotland at the moment, as Scotland being the true and original Jerusalem. And
exactly.
Do you know about
Brandon, that? Yes, Brandon Michael Keyes, I believe is his name.
Speaking to Brandon today.
He has all the I've known him for years, and
wow, that's such a thing.
Sending that information, and we've been talking about that for about 10 years. So I have all that information. I know. I don't know how is it the inverted system, and how they move that all over to create this whole other reality, when it actually, like Edinburgh and Scotland and Ireland, is the true Israel.
Oh my God. I was in Edinburgh this year. Oh my God. I've never been to Edinburgh before. And I know people, and there is Masonic stuff going on, but the beauty of that city is otherworldly. I have never in my life experienced such a joy.
I was only there briefly. I need to go back. I can't.
Oh my God.
Jump on a plane to see you.
It's not normal. It's like old world. It's like the capital of the old world. I mean, I was walking past buildings and sobbing, literally sobbing, because of the beauty and the vibration and the history, or her story, or their story of this land. So and the fact that, you know, many people think that our national anthem is Jerusalem. Funny, that it's a bit random, isn't it? Or is it? It's not random at all. But it's like, it's already in our consciousness. And I don't exactly know what happened, but I think that they just tried to throw us off path. Do you know what I mean? They were like, oh yeah, it's over there. It's all the way over there. Yes, yes. And they were, oh, Jesus walked all this and da-da-da. And it's like, no, actually, these lands are so pristine, especially
heal in our bodies. This version and the how it's been a lot to heal, like in our bodies. Yeah. I can't wait to visit you and create some events and tours. I remember going to Edinburgh and taking a train up into Inverness, and I just can't wait to go back to the Hill of Tara and everything. I can't wait.
No. So yeah, we'll plan a trip for you to come, Laura. And my feeling,
so easy. And my boys are they're ready.
They're big boys now, aren't they?
24.
24. How possible? But you know, you can come, and I feel so much that this land, that you have very, very important codes for this land, and I feel that this land has very, very important medicine for you. I think there's like a symbiotic exchange.
Yeah. Well, I was born in London, and we went to Cornwall and Yorkshire, and we
really.
We were major travelers. We went everywhere. I visited the White Cliffs of Dover. Aren't you very near there?
Yeah. So what do you, is your family?
And the Isle of Wight, everything.
Yeah, the Isle of Wight.
I've traveled extensively, England and Scotland. And
do you have like English
Wales,
relatives?
Mount Snowdon, everything. I mean, that was my upbringing.
Really?
Yeah, I went back every year, and I moved back when I was 12, and I went to a Ursuline convent prep school outside of London.
You went to school till you were 12 in England.
Yeah, I moved back with my grandparents because my whole father's side lives there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I lived there for a long time. Yeah, I actually had a British accent when I left, and then I went back to American schools. I was like,
accent?
oh yeah, no, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
and
my
I would
God.
just take off and on my own and go on the double-decker buses in London and go to Canterbury. Yeah. So yeah, it's home.
Amazing.
It's home. It's home. Yeah, I lived there for a long time. I was born in Fitzwarren Gardens, and my granny, yeah, tea time, and yeah, every summer, and yeah, moved back when I was 12, lived there, and was born there, and moved to the States when I was like 4. But my father and I always made sure I went back. But when I moved back, it was something else to be at that convent. It wasn't, it was just really, the nuns were unbelievable. It wasn't like an elitist school. It was unbelievable. I had to walk miles to get there, and I had a blazer, and I had my brown clogs, and I would walk in the rain, and I had these Sister Anne and Sister Brennan, and there's just these old schoolhouses that were kind of run down. And I remember we did improv, we played music, and they were like, "Who's this American girl?" And they realized that I was actually English, or and we had so much fun. I made the best of friends. It was the best year of my life when I moved back to England. And then when I went back to the States, I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You know, just the culture of America, the jocks and cheerleaders. I'm like, I want to go back.
That's such a coincidence, because I went to a convent school as well, and with all nuns, and I had to wear a blazer and all sorts. So
and a cardigan, but it wasn't like crusty, like elitist. It was, but yeah, I'm sure you were, I mean, you've lived there your whole life.
Yeah, I've lived there my whole life. I lived in London till I was 20. So yeah, it was an amazing place to grow up. You know, there's a lot of bullshit here as well, obviously, but the land, you can't
the most unbelievable. And the fact that you've been there for years upon years, and I, have been there like a lot in my life. I mean, it is just the most beautiful, unbelievable place. And you're there right now. You're in Brighton. I just remember going there with my granny, and you're right on the ocean. I mean, you're in the waters in the Cornwall. Cornwall is like my favorite place. Anyway, oh my gosh. Sorry, everybody. We're going into like, we could just be like just chatting forever about all this stuff, but we're here in an interview. So
what did you pick up about the Queen then? What was your intel that sort of came through about this sort of evolutionary marker?
Well, to me, it's just, yeah, I mean, here's King Charles, and the offspring of the royals. I mean, it was inevitable that the Queen was going to eventually die. She was 97 years old. So it's just, just like in our own families, we lose our mothers and grandmothers, and that's just how life is, we pass on and the new generations come forth. And so to me, it's just the end of the monarchy that was really infiltrated and captured by the Draco kind of reptilian stuff of the vampiric and parasitic sort of system of the sort of royalty that sort of hoards, sort of the wealth and is put in this position of, just like the Queen Jubilee, and everybody, just all that. When really the true royalty is nature royalty, the higher gammic union of the Grail King and the goddess, and just like holding the sacred union of the twin flame to nourish the kingdoms and nourish the land, which is a completely different kind of royalty. So this is the death of the inverted system of, the dark mother reversals, the dark queen. And so within ourselves, as that dies, we get to resurrect the true template. And I feel that the offspring that Diana seeded with Harry and William and their new wives and the children that they have are going to just work that out of their genetics so that they can represent something a a lot more benevolent, that isn't about hierarchy or being royal, but understanding that royalty is being connected to Mother Earth and connected to the king and queen within ourselves and in our own divine blueprint, and that we all can rise in that, instead of like looking to like a president or a leader or a royalty outside of ourselves, like we're just like peasants over here. No, these advanced civilizations and kingdoms are being restored so that we can all embrace the kingdom within and have that mother, father, 𝗦𝗫 template, and be the king, queen, and princes and princesses again, and not deal with this crazy like reptilian, vampiric, adrenochrome, child trafficking, pedophilia, like horrific crimes and stuff. And of course we forgive Elizabeth, and it's so beautiful that she brought those messages forth, because that darkness had to be such a catalyst in this free will sort of human not experiment, but like, you know, now we're coming home. We face the dark side, you know, in this game of, not game, but of like lost and found, that we had to lose ourselves so much to see how detrimental it can get when we forget who we are, so that that catalyst could help bring us home. We've been pushed to the edge to rescue our treasures.
Oh, absolutely. Well said, Laura. And I did a post today about that, because I was so shocked at how many people were like really like devastated. I mean, I know that like grief is always, it's beautiful, it's like a heart medicine, but some people were really taking it to quite an extreme level. And what I was sort of just saying was that, you know, if you project that onto another person, like that is the inversion. When you project it, when you think that someone else should hold the role of monarchy and sovereign, it's like, no, you are that, you are, and you are literally holding up your own ascension by giving that timeline power, that old dying dead timeline power. No,
just let it go.
Let it go now.
You're mourning. People are mourning their attachment to the old paradigm and what they invested their belief systems into, that was their reality. So what they're really mourning is the death of that part of themselves, that ego construct that invested in believing that that was actually something good, because so many people don't know the deeper under layers like we do, like the underbelly of it all. And so I feel like it's the death of like humans' shadow negative ego that got addicted to the matrix, that is now realizing that as much as you're mourning, you're also remembering, you're also finding a reunion with your own soul and your own truth and your own sovereignty. So, you know, once you're done mourning, you know, you got something to look forward to, guys. You'll be like, how do you believe that I'm actually like crying over something that really didn't serve me at all? But it's the death of that old self. It's the death of that, you know, it's the death of that false kind of human. This is not really being human. Now it's time to really be human, the divine human, and all that this human vessel and all the blessings that it is here to gift us. We're letting go of being small and lesser than and you know, unworthy and sinners and all the manipulations through religion and worship, you know, things outside of ourselves. It's the death of that delusion. It's the awakening of who we are and honoring the temple, and that we are the royalty, we are nature royalty, and the god, goddess, king, queen, and divine masculine and feminine are marrying each other, and that integration of polarity is birthing nothing but beautiful, magical children in the 𝗦𝗫 that will produce miracles, and it'll make your dreams come true. It's time to be happy now, everyone.
Well said, Laura. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the collective at the moment, and you know, so much projection. I had a really amazing point to make, but I was just so absorbed with what you were saying. It just,
I know that you do that to me too. And I'm like, what was I?
I was like, oh, that was gone now.
I know, that happens to me all the time.
I know.
But I know we gotta probably have to kind of wrap it up here, because I have a
That's fine, darling. Let's just share I want to just share with everyone that tomorrow I'm going to be hosting a global ceremony, and my crew, my team have told me that all the work that we have done in the global ceremonies is leading to this gathering. And it's just so powerful. We're going to be clearing the old timeline and really anchoring the ascension timeline. And we are going to be clearing the inversion, the sovereignty inversion, and we are going to be activating the true sovereignty codes. We have done this many times, but never in this energetic climate. So really, really hoping as many brothers and sisters as possible deeply hear the call. And if you don't come to my ceremony, there's loads of ceremonies. Host your own ceremony. But tomorrow is the day of the equinox. And it's very, very important that we, the spiritual warriors, the spiritual light workers, that we gather on our grid points, our God points on this day to harness the energy and anchor the energy for our ascension. This is very, very huge. And so I want to share with everyone about that. Is there any announcement that you've got, Laura?
Well, I want to make sure when I put it up on my channel that I have all that information. I'm going to put your bio and all the links so that people can attend tomorrow. Yeah. And I certainly want to, and I would like to invite you to bless the folks that show up on my calls. I'd like to invite you to just maybe do something there.
I come on to one of your calls.
I have way too many announcements to make.
You got anything coming up? I mean, any events? Yes.
Lots is coming up. I have an event at the end of October in Florida. I have a lot of different events and like huge news and projects and things in the works. And just keep your eye on cosmicgaia.org, my website, my Telegram, Cosmic Gaia, Laura Eisenhower. You know, you can find it, and just keep an eye on all of that. There's a lot to announce, but I won't do it here because it's almost too much. But you were mentioning also, we're going to share some links about a product that you really believe in that. Yeah. So I just want to quickly share with everyone that I had an experience of eczema a couple of weeks ago, and I had 75 blisters on my hand, and it was so itchy. I have never experienced, because I've never had eczema, and it was like the itch was just beyond bearable. And I prayed that night. I was at a festival, and I prayed to God. I was like, God, I need a miracle. And I remembered how to pray. And so I just started crying, saying, thank you, God, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this miracle. Thank you, God, for this miracle. Thank you. And I was just crying, just in trust. I woke up the next morning and I booked a session on a chi machine. I walked into the place and the guy looked at my hand. He said, I've got the exact oil from the Amazon that will heal your hand. And he put it on my hand. Within 5 minutes, all the itching had gone. I had it for 2 weeks of absolutely excruciating flare up on my hand. Within 24 hours, my hand had healed. And then I just thought, I manifested that so that I can help people that have got eczema, because it's so tragic that people are having to use cortisol and steroid cream. It's just so dark, so dark. Right? And so, yeah, if you know anyone that suffers, I have this absolutely, I've got some from this guy. And I think with this oil, it kind of comes in different grades. And this grade that I've got is very, very, it's like the creme grade. All right, I'll make sure to put that information in, and I'll message you after this. So Laura, if you know anyone, I'm gonna put this up on my channel. You guys, you'll have access to all of this. And you know, your generosity and how much you give is astounding, Jen. You're just my beautiful sister, and I love you so much. I love you too, Laura. So good to be in your presence, and I can't wait till we're together. And I'm gonna get my butt over to you very soon. Okay, all right, everyone. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. So please share this video. Let everyone know this amazing cosmic chat has happened. And I'll see you on the Equinox transmission. And also to everyone on my community, I really highly recommend that you join Laura's subscription. I'm a member of Laura's subscription, and she sends out the most amazing stuff. It's incredible. So definitely get the links for her subscription. It's been a bit of a bumpy road because of other collaborations that now it's going to a whole new level. And remember, everybody, on Sunday, it's a new moon in Libra. And really pay attention to just anchoring into that, divine union, twin flame energy within yourself to seed that new moon with just feeling into, all that can bring. And Jen, I mean, your books and everything that you've shared about all of this you've changed. It's just unbelievable what you've brought through and what you continue to do. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And there's so much more to come. So much more to come. We love you. Bye, everyone. Bye.